It's time to get cracking, boys and girls. Episode 2 of my 3-part series on eggs, next on Urban Kitchen Revolution. Hi, and welcome back to Urban Kitchen Revolution. I'm Chef James Hudson. Today we're going into the second part of our 3-part series on eggs. In the first part we covered egg pan selection, egg selection itself and the difference in quality of eggs, as well as going over scrambled eggs and the elusive emoji or over easy egg. Today in part 2 we're going to step up the level of difficulty just a little bit and go into a classic French country-style omelet with cheese, as well as the over series of eggs, being over easy, over medium, and over hard. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on our omelet production. Alright, the French country omelet. For a French country omelet, we're going to start just the same way we started with scrambled eggs. We're going to start with 3 eggs. I'm using free-range eggs here. 2 and 3, and then just like with the scrambled egg, I've got about ½ an ounce or 15 grams of whole milk again. That's going to allow the eggs to be a little bit more viscous when we put them in the pan and easier to work around. I've got my fork here again, and we're just going to scramble them up until there's no visible chunks. See how this, it's still kind of like holding onto the fork here? That means it's not quite done enough yet. So we'll keep on going. And it will all smooth out into one consistent color. I can promise this. So it's a little bit of yolk left in that one. You see how much runnier it is now? How much easier it goes across the fork? That's pretty much ready to go. A couple of cracks of black pepper. Couple of pinches of kosher salt. Give that a quick little stir again. As you can see, nice and runny. Now we're ready to rock and roll over to the stove. Let's do it. Alright, so here we go. I've got my pan preheated on medium heat. I'm going to take just a little bit of butter. Of course, not putting the fork into the pan. And you can see how it's melting and lightly sizzling, but not overdone. That's again because we've got nice medium heat here, just like we did for scrambled eggs. So it's fully melted, and we're just going to simply pour all the eggs in. Like I said, we're going to make a country-style French cheese omelet. We're going to use some nice white cheddar. And just like we did for starting out with the scrambled eggs, we're going to start the same way, simply by taking the egg that is already congealed around the outside and the bottom and bringing it into the middle. And you just keep on doing that, stirring it around and around. And this is going to create those nice smaller curds of egg for a nice, more toothsome, velvety finish. Now the romantic ideal for this is to have an omelet that is fully cooked but with no brown in it. It's much easier to do in a gas stove than it is on this particular stove, because how this stove regulates heat is it turns on, it turns off, and it turns on, and it turns off. So if we don't catch it just right, we're going to get some browning. But like I said, we'll see how we do. And now you can see that it's starting to congeal up. So what we're going to do now is continue to take some of this wet egg, scrape it into the middle, bring some of that wet egg back down around again. You see how I'm just sort of lifting the pan, getting it all to coat kind of evenly in a single layer. And this is just about there. Now again, if you want yours, if you don't like yours, if you like yours fully cooked, just gonna leave this on a little bit longer and keep on going. But this is where I like to tend to basically stop, lifting the pan off every once in a while a little bit just to kind of regulate the heat on the pan. And now what we're going to do is we got a nice tight layer and it's all starting to form together. We're going to add the cheese. I've got my cheddar cheese here, and how we want to put the cheese perpendicular to the handle, okay? In a nice kind of straight line. The smaller you have the cheese cut up or ripped up, the better it's going to melt. And you're actually just going to, it's not going to melt in the pan. You're going to let the heat of the omelet itself kind of do all of the work. Okay, so it's all set. I'm going to put this off to the side real quick and grab our, I have a nice square plate. You can see now I've turned my hand around to hold it like this, and what we're going to do is sort of twist it, turn it like this so it falls up over on itself, and continue that roll and just let it slide right onto the pan. Nice tubular shape, just the tiniest little bit of browning, like I said, half because of, we might have just caught it a little bit wrong on the pan when it was finally done. Also a little bit of explanation, but I'm pretty darn happy with this. You can coat this with a little bit of butter on the top if you want for a little extra sheen. Just throw a little bit of, just a tiny little bit of freshly chopped parsley on this bad boy for some extra color. And that's it. That is a French country style omelet. This will earn you all sorts of brownie points in your house. Absolutely. Really good job. So let's wash this pan out real quick, and we'll roll right on to the over eggs. All right, so we've got the pan nice and cleaned out. Just a little bit of fresh water, just like we did before. Tablespoon, or about 5 grams of unsalted butter. Get that all nice and melted. Then we're going to do 2 eggs here. Just finish that up. There we go. All right, 2 cage-free eggs. There's 1. And 2. Lovely. And just like we did with the emoji or sunny side up egg, just a sprinkling of salt. I'm just going to let this be, not really molest it. Freshly cracked black pepper. Now we're going to just let this cook on this side till it's about 2/3 of the way cooked, and this clear part of the white is starting to become mostly white. There'll still be a little bit of clearness around the yolks before when we start the flipping process. Okay, now as you can see, most of the white, except for the part right next to the yolks, is basically solidified now. So now we're going to start the flipping process. When most professionals flip any of these over eggs, it's usually just with a quick flip of the wrist, and this part comes over and flaps on top. I'm going to show you a nice way to cheat on this. Taking a small pan, or small plate rather, and we're just going to simply bring the egg onto the plate like that, put the pan over top, and just invert it. An over medium egg is really just more of a matter of time. The yolk right now, I would consider this an over medium egg. It's got just a little bit of spring. If you were to cut this open, there would just be the smallest amount of ooze. And then of course an over well egg is really nothing more than continuing to flip this on both sides like that until the yolk itself is completely firm. And that's it. Those are easy. Those are all the over medium, over easy, and over hard egg. Let's go give these a shot and a try. What do you say? And so there we have it. The French style country omelet and all the over eggs, over easy, over medium, and over well. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As usual, you can find me at urbankitchenrevolution.com, where you can find recipes for everything we've done up till now, episode guides, product guides, and bonus content. I can also be found on Twitter at JamesHudsonUKR, as well as Facebook at Urban Kitchen Revolution. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, have a great day. Bye.